Okay, so in this video, I'm basically going to start a new node environment, and I'm just going to type out node again from the command prompt, and I'm just going to press enter. So if you're also following along, you want to make sure you quit your current node by pressing Control D and then going and typing node again to make sure you have a new fresh environment. So here I'm going to contrast the past video by showing you the var way of doing things. So for those of you who've used older JavaScript, or those of you looking at older JavaScript, you might be kind of confused because you know either maybe like the newer JavaScript syntax is more familiar to you, or maybe it's not as familiar. I just want to have this video to help those who are a little bit confused. So you may run into the var keyword. Remember, this is the easiest, the loosest way of declaring variables. JavaScript is not going to complain to you. You're not going to see any helpful errors. So if I said var x is equal to hello, and then I try to do if x is equal to hello, and brackets, console log, well, actually before I do that, let's do var y is equal to world. I can still do console log x plus y. And you might be confused, like, well, you just showed me a video where I can't do that with the let keyword, but I can do it with the var keyword. So why does JavaScript allow that? Well, that was the thing, right? Before ES6 came along, there wasn't as much safety. So we didn't really care where you declared a variable. Essentially, there is still scope in older JavaScript, but scope was limited to functions, but not if statements or for loops or anything like that. As soon as you declared a variable inside of an if statement with the var keyword in JavaScript, it was available globally as well. And so that's why with this particular example, I can do x plus y, and it'll still work even though the if statement has been completely, destroyed off. Y still lingers around. And so for a lot of people who are coding with older JavaScript, they may have not known that their variables were still hanging around on the entire program. And so that may have caused the programs to either, continue being heavy or maybe like crash, especially if you get into more advanced programming and you just leave a bunch of variables hanging around. You know that each time you create a variable, you're actually reserving a space in your computer's memory. And if you're just constantly filling your computer memory with all kinds of junk, especially if you don't need it anymore, that's just going to make the computer program also sort of lag and maybe, run out of memory. You can't really run out of memory with JavaScript because JavaScript is very, very, safe now. But in the olden days, this was more of a program problem. And actually, I take that back. You can still make a JavaScript program really suck and really intensely use your computer's resources if you try. But for the most part, it's a lot safer now. So I hope this video was helpful to you. And, if you're confused about var versus let, I hope this kind of explains this a little bit better. The ultimate takeaway here is that you want to use the let keyword moving forward as opposed to the var keyword.